This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 473 of the Stable Scoop Show. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible. Our sponsors this week are horselovers.com and you, our terrific auditors. On this week's show, we explain the rules of Equestrians Have Talent, which starts next week. Tune in, everybody. I introduce you to a shiny new podcaster with an amazing talent and an unbiased new show. Plus, horselovers.com product review is the Noble Outfitters Cold Front High Boots. Listen in. This is Glenn the Geek, and you're listening to the Stable Scoop Show on the Horse Radio Network, the flagship show of the Horse Radio Network and one of the world's leading podcasts about all things horse. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry I am a little hoarse, my voice that is, because I'm trying to get a cold. Every time I go someplace, I seem to get a cold. It happens every single time, but thank you for putting up with me. We have a fun little show planned for you today, and I'm so excited that we get to start with the competition for Equestrians Have Talent next week. The entries are in. We're sorting through them now, and we'll be starting to play them next week. But here to help explain that is Kristen from Horse Nation. Well, Kristen, I am so excited you're here because it's now coming time. Next week, we have the entries in, and we're presenting the first Equestrians Have Talent next week.
I'm super excited, Glenn. This is going to be really, really fun.
And you and I have intentionally not, now I have to listen to them, but you will not have heard them by the time we play them for the first time.
Nope, that's going to be my first time, first listen.
We're intentionally doing that so you don't have any preconceived notions as well. And you're going to be able to listen for the first time like our listeners are listening for the first time. So we wanted to kind of get on to this week and explain what's going to happen for the next 3 weeks so people kind of have a heads up. So this is what we've got. We ended up with a little over 30 entries. So each week for the next 3 weeks, we're going to play 10 of them. We thought 10 was probably a good number. And, that may take 10 minutes or 20 minutes. I'm not sure how long, because I haven't listened to them yet either. I'm so excited to, though, because I hear some of them are quite interesting. Now, Kristen did not do her entry yet, so she has to do hers live.
Oh, boy. Yep.
So you're on the spot now. I also have not done my entry yet, so apparently I have to do mine live too, or I have to record it quick. But thank you to
everyone. It's got to be live, Glenn. Live only.
I might have to look up, I used to be a king for a long time. I might have to get out my Elizabethan accent and one of the stories I used to tell as a king and go to town on the show next week. I haven't told those stories in so long, I really have to think about it. So
now I'm really excited. So.
The way we're going to do this is we're going to play 10 on each episode, and then you're going to vote. You guys get to vote for the winners. And you're going to be able to go to equestrianshavetalent.com, which will take you to a page on Horse Nation where Kristen's going to set this all up for us. Thank you very much, Kristen, for doing this. We are going to set up the voting, and people will be able to go there after each episode and vote. The voting will be open for a week till the next episode comes out. This will happen on Thursdays. First one will be next week on the 7th. That's September the 7th. Look for it on Thursday morning. At the end of all of that, those top 3 are going to have to come back and do something live on the show with us. So they're going to have to do another something with us. If they can't do it live because it was like with barnyard animals, then we'll have to have them record it and then just join us live. But they'll be back on the show live with us. So it'll be at equestrianshavetalent.com to do the voting each week, and you guys are going to determine the winner. And then after the finals, you're also going to determine the winner. Or now we could do the finals in one of 2 ways, Kristen. We'll decide on the fly. We could have some celebrity judges join us on that episode and actually pick the winner, or have the listeners do it. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I have Simon Cowell on speed dial, so we'll
good.
just give him a call.
Good.
Yeah, he'll come in. It'll be great. It's going to be a good time.
I'll call Kaylee Kuko, and we'll see if we can get her in. And then, who else has horses that we could get? Maybe Bloomberg or one of them. We can get Gates's daughter. I'm sure would just be thrilled to come on with us and do this.
This has got to be at the top of her list.
So in other words, we're having the listeners vote?
Yeah,
okay.
That sounds good. Yep.
So, but you know what? If the listeners are voting the whole way along, they should be voting for the winner as well. So, and then we're going to, I'm having a trophy made. By the way, the winner is getting a trophy this year. And what it'll have Horse Nation logo on there and our little logo on there. And at the top, it has one of our actual mics mounted. So
Oh, man.
it's going to have an actual Horse Radio Network mic that's been used here in the studio, mounted on top. It's going to be truly a one-of-a-kind trophy that you're going to put on your mantle and be proud of forever.
That's a covet-worthy prize.
That's right.
So
What else do you want once you have a mic trophy for your
I better
for your
prepare
mantle?
my act.
You better, because you can win. We're in there. Hey, they can vote for us too. I said hosts were allowed to participate. So, and I did get some entries from some hosts. So it's now it's down to a popularity contest. Who do you like
All right.
the best? Well, I don't want the trophy, by the way, so don't vote for me. Okay, so I have plenty of mics in my studio here. I want somebody else to have the trophy. But Kristen, what else did we miss?
Well, I got really excited about barnyard animals. So I hope that there's lots of barnyard animals going to be featured.
Isn't yours kind of an animal? Wasn't yours supposed to be an animal?
Oh, yes. Yep. Yeah. My singing border collie, she's resting her voice right now, but we're getting ready for our live performance. So don't
you know,
worry.
when you get dogs to do it live, they never do, right?
Well, yeah, we're going to see. It might just be the Kristen solo act. We'll see.
Well, remember what I said? I said, you know, stupid and failing is sometimes funnier. And funny gets votes. So you could end up winning if your dog doesn't cooperate.
You know, she's pretty funny when she's on, though. But we also just acquired a singing goat. So one or the other, maybe we'll have a dog-goat singing duet. So
This could be really funny. I do know we have other
the Kristen
dogs.
Kovacs Barnyard Band.
Yeah.
Putting it together.
I like that. That's a good name for the band, actually. The Kristen's Barnyard Band. Perfect.
There we go.
Well,
Start booking us now. We're going to be big.
We're very excited about this. As I said, it'll start next week on Thursday. The first entries will be in on the 3rd, and the show will come out that morning. Kristen will put her post up that morning, so immediately when you go listen to it, you'll be able to go vote. You'll also be able to listen to it on their page at equestrianshavetalent.com. You'll be able to listen to it right on the page. You'll have the player there, so they'll be able to go listen. It's going to be at the very beginning of the Stable Scoop show, so you'll just hit play, and you're going to get the intro, and we're going to go right into the contest. So you'll be able to listen to it again in case you're confused or you have a couple of your favorites. So right when you're voting, you'll be able to do that. It'll be pretty self-explanatory, and we hope that you all can participate with us. Kristen, thank you so much for helping out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Glenn. Looking forward to it.
As you all know, I occasionally help other new podcasters that are starting out. I kind of mentor them along their way, get them out of diapers and into high school, and then let them flutter away and do their thing. Well, I have one of those that I'm so excited about right now, and I haven't even helped her much. She's done this pretty much on her own. Her name is Mandy, and I think you're going to love her story, and you're going to love her new podcast. I know I do. I hate the news. I absolutely hate the news. I haven't watched news in 10 years. You all know that. I've talked about that before. I'm listening to the news again, but only hers. And so let's learn more with Mandy.
Welcome to The Newsworthy, all the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. Thanks so much for listening. We've got the latest on Harvey, why tech companies are weighing in on immigration, what to know for Labor Day weekend, and ecstasy may be a new medical treatment. That and much more, all in less than 10 minutes. I'm Mandy. Today is Friday, September 1st. You ready? Let's do this.
Well, hi, Erica. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me and for all your support. You're amazing.
Well, we've been working together for a little bit on this new show of yours. I can't take any credit for it. You've been working on this show of yours. I've just been harassing you about it. And you launched on Monday. It's called The Newsworthy, and it's a podcast. And first, before we talk a little bit about why the heck you got out of corporate America to do this, and why you gave up that paycheck to do this, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. It's less than 10 minutes. Your goal, you told me, even before you started this, was to present the news in a totally unbiased way. And I did not believe you. I didn't, did I, when we talked?
A lot of people are saying, yeah, well, you talk the talk, but they weren't sure if I could walk the walk.
Well, because no newscast does. There's none out there that goes down the middle anymore. They say they do, fair and balanced, all that stuff, and that's not true. We all know it's not true, right? So... But yours was right down the middle, and I love how you present the news in short segments that my ADD can handle. And I don't even know how you feel about these stories that you've covered so far. I have
I
no
don't want
idea.
you to know.
I don't want to know either because it'll ruin it for me. Because it'll ruin it for 50% of the audience, right?
And that's one of the things that I kept hearing from people. And part of the reason I started this in the first place is that news is not only depressing, but it's biased. And they don't know who to trust, or they're having too many political debates on Facebook. So I knew I could create something that would help with that, at least for 10 minutes. So you could get an overview without having to read all the stuff you don't necessarily want to be exposed to.
Well, and you're giving it to me the bite sizes that I really want. Because I love the way you're doing it. Because if I want more about that story, I'll go look it up.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm not saying this has to be the only news you look at if you want to dig deeper into a certain story, but it gives you enough of an overview that it's up to you to decide what stories interest you, what stories impact you. And I list all the links for the stories that I reference so you can go see for yourself that maybe I have 3 or 4 different articles for one story. Because if I see that something is leaning one way, I seek out the other side and make sure that I include both.
So are there show notes that people can go see the follow-up to then?
Yes.
Okay.
And so if it's thenewsworthy.com/show notes and there's all the different episodes, you just click on that day and then all the links are right there.
Now, your instincts, and we've talked about podcasting a lot on this show. You know, listeners that have been with me for a long time have been with us since before they could figure out how to listen. I mean, there were no phones. You know, we were downloading manually and hoping that it worked. So, longtime listeners will be curious, how did you... I mean, you figured this out from the start. Did you get professional help? I mean, you went into this with nobody has a good first show. Ours sucked is what I'm saying. None of our first shows were any good. And you walk in with a perfect first show.
Well, thank you.
Which I'm mad at you about, by the way. So, you're breaking the mold here.
Your message after the first show was the best. You don't need my help. I was like, yes, I do. I still am inspired by you. So, I think, look, 10 years of TV news experience and broadcasting helps. I went to school for journalism and broadcast journalism. So I came in with knowledge of how to speak and how to broadcast. So all I had to figure out was how to make a podcast specifically. So I knew how to edit video. So editing audio isn't that much different. And just Googling and talking to people like you, I figured out how to get it, on the feed.
Well, and some people have trouble with the tech. Your sound is incredible. So congratulations on that too.
Thank you. It took some experimenting.
Yeah, it always does, doesn't it? And you go the first time and you sound squeaky. Second time you sound terrible, and then there's a noise. And you have to figure out where the noise comes from. It's just
exactly. And the other thing that helped me was because I don't rely on guests, because I pretty much just tell you so that you can listen and get on with your day, is that I did a trial week. So I had my first show when no one was listening. I had about 20 friends and family listen just so that I could practice and make sure everything was good. And then I could do my real show after a week of practice. So that helped. And
you did you dove in the deep end here. You actually quit your full-time gig as a news reporter or anchor?
Yeah. Reporter. I've been an anchor in certain cities, but most recently at CBS Los Angeles, I was a TV news reporter.
So you gave that up and said, I'm going to try podcasting where all the big money is. And came into, being very sarcastic there, came into our world. And why? Several reasons. But one, I feel I was heading down a path that I no longer wanted. I had spent 10 years in TV news. And then I kept hearing from people the things we've already talked about, that news is depressing, they weren't watching, news in general, they're not sure who to trust, that maybe it's boring. So I felt like I could provide something else. The other thing is I was really into podcasts and I knew the benefit of being able to listen on the go. With computers having to read and then TV having to watch, you have to sit there and take your time to pay attention, which may work for later in your day, but a lot of times in the mornings you're frantic, but you still want to walk into work and be able to have intelligent conversations with people or interesting conversations. So I just saw an opportunity for it. And the more I researched it, the more passionate I got about it. And it got to a point where I was more excited about that. And I was dreading going into my full-time job. And I thought, if I'm ever going to do this, I just need to do it. And because I do it every day, I was working every day in the evenings as a TV news reporter. So I really couldn't do both. A lot of people do podcasting on the side, which is great. But for me, it just wasn't going to work if I was going to do it the way that I wanted to do it and the way that I think people wanted it. So you saved your pennies and here you are. Exactly. I saved up some money and just thought, let me give this, if nothing else, a year.
and just see if it grows.
Well, you're going to have
see if people like it.
I'm telling you right now on the air, I'm predicting this for everybody. In a matter of 2 to 3 months, you're going to have several dilemmas because the mainstream news is going to be contacting you again after they hear this show. And and then it's going to be make or break time. You're going to be going, oh no, what do I do? So I hope you stick with this. I think it's fantastic. I think there's an opportunity here. Of course, I speak at all of these conferences on building a network, which we know a little about. And I think there's an opportunity here for you to have a fantastic network that covers so many different things down the line. I know you're dreading hearing that because you just started, but I'm giving you promise that I think there's hope here, and I think you could own this space.
I appreciate the encouragement, and I'm excited about where this may lead. But yes, right now I'm like, okay, it's my first week. Let me make sure people like this. And
people are thinking it's 7-8 minutes. She can't be spending all that much time. Can you give them an idea of how much prep time goes into this?
So I think to your point, to make sure that it's unbiased and that it's thorough, I spend a lot of time researching what stories are out there and also what different perspectives are out there. So I read multiple articles and more than I even reference for even one story to make sure that I'm doing all the hard work and you can get the bottom line. So all of that, research and writing, and I'm hoping as I keep going, I'll get faster and faster. But, I'm taking 4 hours throughout the evening just looking at stories, reading about stories. There's articles I read that I don't end up using because I don't think it benefits you. And I'm looking at a wide variety of types of stories. So it's everything from politics to entertainment to tech stuff, because I want you to have, be well-rounded. So I'm looking at so many different newspapers and online news magazines and that sort of thing that, it takes time. And then I work throughout the evening to make sure by the morning you have everything that happened, even if it's at 9 p.m., something breaks.
When do you record
I guess
it?
Usually about 10 or 10:30 p.m. Pacific time.
You sound that good at 10:30 at night? Jeez, girl. I'm impressed.
But then, I'm still paying attention as I'm editing. If something breaks, I will go back and add it in because, it releases about 1 or 2 in the morning Pacific time. So what is that, 5 in the morning about Eastern time?
It's usually when I get up, it's usually there.
Good. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But it's still fresh enough. I don't want there to be a lot of news that you're missing. So that's why I have to work, late.
No social life for you. You're done.
But that used to be my schedule anyway, which is nice. I used to work for the 11 p.m. news.
Ah, okay.
So
when you work 11
anyway.
p.m. news, are you going in around 6?
Oh, no. We go in. My shift starts at 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Whoa. And you're not getting out of there to midnight or after?
Yep.
Holy cow. That's a long
day.
Yeah,
because I get a story in that afternoon. I don't know what I'm going to do when I go in. And I'm assigned a story. Then we have to drive to the location, do the research, do the interviews, get video. Then I have to write a script. We edit the video. Then we present it live at 11. So there's a lot to do in a short amount of time.
Wow.
So for every minute of TV news, there is several hours that goes into that.
Well, this will be easy. This is going to be easy for you.
Exactly.
You get to stay home anyway. It's sit on your couch.
Exactly. I seriously saved 2 hours in commute time. I live in LA, so.
Oh, I was just there. I don't know why anybody lives in LA. I just, every time I go out there, I say the same thing. Why does anybody live there? I don't get it. With the traffic.
I live by the beach, so.
Okay, well,
we have our own little beach area that's separate.
Well,
and I don't have to drive very much, and the weather's amazing.
Yeah, well, you can stay home now, so it's perfect.
Exactly.
Well, I loved it. It's called The Newsworthy. Go to thenewsworthy.com or go to The Newsworthy on any of your podcast players. You'll find it. Apple, Google, doesn't matter. Tune in wherever you listen, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts, you'll find it there. She is terrific. And if you're like me and just hate the news and have refused to watch for the last 10 years, I'm now going to tune into this every morning, and I feel like it's all I need to know.
Thank you so much, Glenn.
So good job.
I appreciate it.
Hi, this is Gina Moronic from Wisconsin, and I am an official Horse Radio Network auditor. It's something I'm really proud to do and to be a part of in a small way because it's something that I get a lot of information from. The Horse Radio Network and the convenience of the downloadable podcasts means that I can improve my horsemanship skills, my riding skills, or just really enjoy listening to friendly, informative programming whenever I'm driving to work or working on chores or at the barn even. So I hope you find it as enjoyable as I do. If you do, go to horseradionetwork.com and click on the banner to become a Horse Radio Network auditor. For as little as $1 a month, you can be involved in this great thing too and keep it going. Thanks.
Favorite section of the Stable Scoop radio show when we do a product review. Thank you very much to horselovers.com, who provides our volunteer listeners all kinds of cool and interesting products to test out and review. And this time up, I am with Rick Alvey from Ohio, and he is going to tell us all about his nifty Noble Outfitters Cold Front High boot.
The Cold Front High boots are going to be perfect for when it turns off cold. I received them about 2 weeks before it turned off really warm, so I had only a couple of weeks where it wasn't too awfully hot to wear them on my feet and not burn up, but I will say that they are very comfortable. They're good for going out in the mud after errant horses who want to stay outside and not come back into the barn where they're supposed to be.
None of us have those. No. Now, these are your classic calf length, solid rubber, waterproof, weatherproof, cow poop proof boots from Noble Outfitters. And it looks like they have a pretty significant tread on the bottom.
Yeah, they've got a real nice tread, which does make it nice when you do have to go out in the mud. They don't slip and slide as much. And I'll be interested to see how well they do in snow this year.
The leg part, I forget what you call that, but the leg part, is that the soft, squishy neoprene? Is that what that's made of, the top?
No, it's almost the same rubber that's around the foot,
really?
too,
So they really are rubbery and like durable.
Yeah. So they should hold up pretty good.
Yeah, that's going to make them a little more durable. Yeah.
And keep all the way up your calf warm.
Yeah. Now, for sometimes tall boots can be a little tough to get on and off your feet. How are these to be sliding on to zip out into the snow and shovel the driveway?
Actually, they're not that bad. They're real easy to slip off and on. And at least with my foot and leg, they go right in and come right out.
So they're easy on, easy off.
Mm-hmm. And I'd almost say, because when I got them, I also got a free pair of Noble Outfitters Best Darn Boot Socks. And even though this isn't a review for the boot socks, I have to endorse those too.
They were pretty awesome too.
Yeah. If my foot did sweat in the boot, the socks absorbed it and wasn't, wet and squishy. It was like a normal sock.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. Now
at least the boots kept my feet good and warm.
Well, there you go. That's a must-have. Yeah.
And even on the warmer days, my feet didn't really get overly hot, which surprised me too.
That seems to be something I hear frequently about Noble Outfitters boots in general. I've heard that from other models of their Muds boots. This is part of their Muds line. Now, I'm curious the inside of these boots. Sometimes boots on the inside are unlined. Sometimes they're lined. Sometimes they're lined with something fuzzy. Sometimes they're lined with something smooth. What's the interior like?
They're lined with a smooth lining. I think it's also some type of. It may be some type of moisture wicking material to help keep your feet dry.
Oh, that's nice of them to do.
So, yeah, because like I said, even on the warmer days, I didn't pull them off and start leaving footprints across the floor from where my feet had been sweating. So
there you go. Now we've covered a little bit about treads, how they're made, whether or not they're comfortable. Last question about the Noble Outfitters men's Muds cold front high boots, the boot with the longest name ever, is the fit. Did they fit size-wise about how you expected? Did they run big? Did they run small?
No, they fit exactly. I wear a size 10, and they fit exactly like they were supposed to.
Yay! Ding, 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 ding.
So that was a plus, because it was like, okay, well, I have to wear an extra pair of socks just to take up the extra room or what? So
cool.
Nope, just need one pair of socks and off we go.
Off you go. Well, cool. Well, the Noble Outfitters men's Muds cold front high boots, longest name ever, are available at horselovers.com. And as we do this review, they are selling for $99.95. Woohoo! You can stop by there and visit and get yours. We also have a link to these boots on our show notes page at stablescoop.com. Well, thank you very much, Rick, for spending a little time with me this evening and doing a review of this product.
Well, everybody, for details about today's show, go to stablescoop.com. And you can get our app, iOS or Android. You just search for Horse Radio Network in the App Store. We now have 15 shows, soon to be 16. Be sure to log on next Friday for another episode of Stable Scoop, and it'll be our first episodes that include the Equestrians Have Talent. You guys singing, dancing. Well, I don't know about dancing. You might have been dancing while you were singing. I'm not sure. But it includes you guys, and you're going to get to judge, as we announced earlier in the show. I'm so excited about this. Let's hope it becomes an annual event. And many thanks to this week's sponsors, horselovers.com, and you, our terrific auditors. To become an auditor, just head over to horseradionetwork.com, click on the auditor banner on the right side of the page, and for as little as $1 a month, you too can help support the Horse Radio Network. That's it for this week, everybody. Until then, until next week, happy scooping.